Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. How are we doing? I thought I would talk today about something that I've been experiencing for a few years now. And I want to be very careful how I talk about it because I'm aware that, some people watching this might be deaf and has hearing loss, was born with hearing loss slash deaf. So I want to be sensitive to this topic, but I just want to make you aware that I'm coming to this topic as somebody who I was born hearing, and now I've got hearing loss. So I don't want you to think that when I say like the negative parts that it's a bad thing. It's just my experience of how I've kind of learned about what it's like having hearing loss, and I just want to share the honest opinions. Now, obviously, I'm a lot more accepting and actually still very lucky to have hearing and still be able to when I'm in certain scenarios. But yeah, I thought I would share because the journey has been real. I first started, well, I think I was in denial, but I started noticing that in certain scenarios, I just couldn't hear. So I started turning, these are the really common things, and I watched a video like this to sort of kind of start accepting that I had hearing loss, but it took a very long time, which is so weird when I preach about, being disabled and accepting, you don't have to accept yourself 24/7, but like, blah, blah, blah. I'm a person that advocates for disability, but I had this thing going on that I just kept ignoring and I kept being in denial about. So, yeah, it first started when I was watching TV. I noticed I had to like put the volume up, and my friends and family were making comments like, all right, bloody 30 volume, like that kind of comment, but it still was quite chilled and laid back and kind of banter. And then I noticed that when I was with my friends, like watching a film, I didn't know what was going on in the film at all. And then I asked for subtitles. And when I had subtitles, I knew what was going on. And that was I say scary. I don't want to, again, be insensitive. It was just scary going from completely understanding TV to not even understand what's going on and genuinely trying to lip read the characters, trying to, get clues from the environment of the film, the background to know what the story was. And I started to think, yeah, I'm not hearing this situation at all. So that was that. And then I think it was because COVID, started to actually, no, COVID had been a thing for like 2 years when I really, really noticed like my family are very softly spoken. Ironically, I don't know what happened with me, but they're very softly spoken, not extroverts, like very quiet people. And I started to not hear them in my flat, at their house. Like, it started to feel embarrassing because these were the people that I knew really well, and I wasn't understanding. If, like, say my mum and my brother were in my flat, and they would, I'll like, you'll cut off and you'll, have a conversation. I was just watching, like, tennis and not understanding a word. And I think that's when I started to feel really down, and I started to realise, actually, this is something that's starting to impact my life. And I think what was hard about it was when I was out and about and people were loud and like in bars, restaurants, I was fine. I could hear everyone. So my brain was kind of saying, well, it can't be that bad because, you can hear everyone when you go out to a bar and a restaurant, but it's literally just when you're in a quiet environment and someone's quite softly spoken, you can't hear them. And then I think the final straw was when I went to, Jenny will know the day, but I went to Jenny, Really Good Life's house, and I was struggling to the point where I don't think I understood 70% of what was going on. Like, I had to ask her and her friends constantly, what did you say? What did you say? And it made me realise how constantly asking people to repeat what they said and, change what they said because I'm not understanding a word. It shouldn't be embarrassing at all, but it just made me realise how, like, I've been physically disabled all my life. I don't feel embarrassed about asking for a ramp. I don't feel embarrassed to ask for step-free access, but this thing that was happening, I was just like, I think because I once had it and now I don't, it was just absolutely mind-boggling. And that was when I was like, this is severely impacting my life. And also, I do talks for a living, which is great. I don't need to hear anyone. But as soon as I did the Q&A section, that was it. I couldn't hear anyone. But I didn't notice that as much because when I do online talks, I've got my earphones in, so I could hear perfectly fine. So it was just these certain scenarios that was really impacting me. Anyway, the one day, that day I went to Jenny's, I was like, I need to do something. But then I've still kept being embarrassed, which is so annoying. But like, I don't know what it was. I think it was like when you've got so much going on physically, the appointments you have or the admin you've got, I think I just found it really hard to add something to the list. And that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I just thought, not another thing. Like, are you having a laugh? I've just, got my own place. I'm trying to be independent. I've got limited energy, and now you throw this on me, like, and I don't mean like, woe is me. I just thought, I just don't have the capacity to deal with this right now. Anyway, then, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you might know that I posted a reel ages ago about saying, if something doesn't work for you, change it. And then I was talking about how, like, my parents have always, like, been someone who, like, has encouraged me that if I want to do something, not you can do anything you want, because I can't climb upstairs or whatever, but if there's a way to do something, try and find it. And I think that's when I was like, I need to do something about this, because I need to practice what I preach. Anyway, so long story short, I got 2 hearing tests, and both came back and said that I've got conductive hearing loss, which I'm no expert, I'm not a scientist, but I think it's the hearing loss that comes from external to your eardrum rather than inside. And it is apparently quite common with people with brittle bones, the disability that I've got, but it could be something to do with that. When I got the diagnosis, I did feel better for knowing. I think I felt a little bit like, oh my god, like I have literally got hearing loss. And some people will be watching this like, this is really not a big deal, but it really felt like a big deal at the time. So sadly in the NHS, things are really difficult to get any type of care or aids at the moment. So I'm actually on the waiting list for an ENT, ears, nose and throat specialist. And they don't want to offer me hearing aids until they've found out what the cause is, which, to be honest, I found a little bit frustrating because I know that I've got hearing loss. Like, what use? I don't know. If there's any experts that can tell me why I need to know, then fair enough. But I think for me, I just really wanted hearing aids to be able to hear. So, I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I was just like, again, thinking, what can I do to make this easier? So I've bought, with my own money, some little hearing aids. I don't know if this is the correct term, but yeah, it's just like a little mic in your ear that just emphasizes sound, let's say. And oh my god, this has changed my life. Like, I got that hearing test in September, October, something like that. So I have waited now to get an appointment for my ENT nearly 6 months and we're not there yet. So I was like, let's just do this and see. And I think this also helped me realise how deaf I am. Well, how much hearing loss I've got because, oh my god, this has changed my life. I just put this in and then my mum spoke and I was just like, oh my god, I've actually not heard my mum's voice properly for years. Like I've been lip reading, like we're so close that I pretty much know what she's saying just with some mouth movements. So yeah, I am now a hearing aid user. Obviously, I'm waiting to properly get, good ones that can link to my phone that will be so much easier. But I think it's just been really good to sort of solidify that I do have hearing loss. Also, very privileged thing to be able to do. There's loads of talk at the moment about PIP and how that's might be getting cut. And just one thing to say, this is just one example of what an extra cost actually is for disabled people. Like the care and the support out there for disabled people is severely lacking, that we have to buy things like this to be able to do the daily stuff. And it's so ironic that, like, the government are saying cut the benefits to get people into work, but ironically, this kind of stuff is bought so that I can do the work. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's the money is not about work, it's about living. And if the standard of and quality of life is better, you're going to be able to do more stuff. So make it make sense. But anyway, we're not here for that chat. So yeah, it's been very interesting. I am still learning. Like, it whistles in certain places, and if I don't put it in properly, or like if I'm on a train, it can be quite like noisy, and I have to put it to a different setting. But yeah, I'm really proud of the journey that I've been on because it was hard to accept. But now I'm like, get 'em in. It's just literally like putting my glasses on. Like it's no different. I don't know why. I do know why, but it's so sad that I've waited this long just to be able to hear and have conversations, But sometimes we've got to go on this journey. If you have OI, brittle bones, you're probably a very stubborn person like me, so I get it. I get it. But if you do have hearing loss, try and get an appointment. Just do it because you will feel so much better for it. So the plan is for the future, obviously get that appointment, find out what the cause of my hearing loss is, which we think it is to do with my brittle bones and the bone like moving or something. But I can understand why they want to find out, but I just want a good hearing aid to be able to hear. And the only other thing is because these are quite basic, like very basic hearing aids, I have to remember when someone's coming to my flat, I'm like, oh, get me hearing aid on quick. Because obviously I want to be able to hear the door, I want to hear them when they first come in. And also, when I went to the craft event with my mum, I literally kept my hearing aid on pretty much all day until I went to bed. And I had to warn her, like, right, I'm taking my hearing aid on now and I won't be able to hear you. So, just to let you know. And then in the morning, I didn't realise she was saying morning to me and saying something, and I was like, because I have to put my glasses on. So when I don't have my glasses on, I don't have my hearing aids in, I'm literally just like, nothing's going on. I'm like, hold on a minute. So I put my glasses on, and then I put my hearing aids in, and I was like, right, what were you saying? So it is an adjustment to be able to get used to. But yeah, I'm hoping that in time I'll get better hearing aids and it will just be a very normal part of my life. Just like I charge my chair, I put my glasses on, it's just one of those things. And I genuinely feel really neutral about it now. I just think it took some time to get used to. So if anyone watching this has hearing loss and you've got any tips or have you had to wait for an ENT appointment in the UK? Because I'm kind of getting impatient, but whatever. I know that we're very lucky to have the NHS, so yeah. But thank you for watching. That was a little bit of a different video this week, but I want to keep you updated on the journey because hopefully this year I will have better hearing aids that will have like Bluetooth and stuff like that. So I'll keep you updated on when I get those. But yeah, thank you for watching. Do give me any tips if you've got any. And I hope you're enjoying this lovely weather because, oh my god, isn't it glorious? And on that note, I'll see you next Sunday with another video. Bye!